Good morning once again, and welcome to the Delco Show. This is Fiore, Executive Director of Delaware County's Brandywine Conference and Visitors Bureau, and you are listening to the Delco Show, brought to you by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, right here on iRadio Philly. As you're well aware, folks, each week we try to bring to you a member of the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce and the business community, for-profit, nonprofit, independent, small business, large business, to find out a little about them, find out about the services about them, and more importantly, to find out about the people behind the business. And today it's our pleasure to have from the United Way, United Way's been in the paper the last couple of days, the United Way, Doreen Storey, Executive Director of the Delaware County United Way program, and Richard Crespo, who's the Community Impact Manager. Doreen, Richard, welcome to the Delco Show.
Thank you very much, Tori. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Tori.
No, it's our pleasure, absolutely. And Doreen, I can see right off we're going to have a problem, as we mentioned, because I don't know how tongue-tied I'm going to get with Doreen Storey and Tori Fiore.
We'll figure something out. We'll be okay.
Fine. I'm not going to call you Dory Story. It's Doreen, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So you've got the United Way, you've got Delaware County, and you just had soon-to-be ex-Lieutenant Governor James Colley, who was named the president or the CEO of, is it the Greater United Way of Philadelphia or?
United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey.
And Southern New Jersey.
Yes.
And so, you see this and, you go back to looking at when Lieutenant Governor, then governor for a short period of time, Richard Schweiker, became the president of the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce, as to what impact does having a former lieutenant governor have on the United Way, the capability to raise funds, to reach out to the business community. I guess he would have a political arm to work with and strong-arm people, if you will. Nothing personal, Jim. I met you. You're a nice guy, So, what kind of an impact, guys, do you think that's going to be?
Well, to be very honest with you, we've only had the opportunity to meet him yesterday. So
Right.
this is a new idea for us with the United Way and for Jim. But I think it's going to have a strong impact on our community because we're going to be able to reach people that perhaps we haven't been able to reach before. Mm-hmm. And also will give us an opportunity to teach Jim or to educate Jim on some of the issues that he might have not been aware of before, that we can give him a clean slate to look at and go forward to in our community. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Rich, how about you?
Yeah, like Doreen said, we just met him for the first time yesterday when we were introduced. And what I got from him is the sense of passion about community building. And so, he's got some experience in leadership qualities and abilities. So we're just looking forward to getting to know him better and learning about what he can do. I think you're right. I think he can help connect us to some relationships that we haven't had before. So I think it's a really good opportunity for us.
Yeah,
yes.
And I understand what you're saying, Doreen, because unfortunately for him, whether it was a good idea or a bad idea, I don't think a lot of times that he was really for certain things. Cutting certain state funding and whatnot to people of need, the food stamp program and everything. I think he gets it. He understands it. It's politics, and that's kind of the way you got to look at things. And as you said, I think that's a very nice way of putting it, Doreen, is you make a clean slate, you start over. It's an education process.
Absolutely.
He's never been in the nonprofit sector before.
Correct.
He's always been in, I don't know if it's the private sector from a lawyer, a county commissioner, on the state level. So it'll be a new experience for him, too. And I'm quite sure that he'll be very open-minded to learning from the people who have been here, as you have for 18 years, Doreen, and Richard, for you, it's been 5 years.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
been around the horn a few times already.
Absolutely. And one of the things that he talked to the staff about that I immediately picked up was his passion for community service.
Okay.
For his passion for people in need and in this region.
Yeah.
I think he's very intelligent, that he knows some of the needs that are out there. He's probably seen some things that we haven't seen in the past, and he'll be able to kind of give us some insight on the direction that we're going. I think it'll be a perfect marriage for us.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you're absolutely right. So, you just kind of wait and see, and you kind of figure out what happens, and you take it from there, and everybody grows and learns together.
Absolutely.
It's really
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, it's a very simple process. Let's start with you, Doreen. Everybody's got missions and values, okay, a value proposition, if you will. I kind of have a pretty good idea of what the mission is of United Way. But, for our listeners and even for myself, because my knowledge of it is somewhat limited, what is the mission of, the Philly, South Jersey
Our
United
mission, our United Way's mission really is to harness and to leverage people. We want to really look at the collective power that our donors have and that are advocates and volunteers to drive measurable change and to improve the lives of people in our region. We do this by being a convener. We're a nonpartisan. We're a nonpartisan organization that brings folks together to talk about the actual issues that are going on, all sides. And we look to do this, that we realize that we cannot do this alone. We want to be the partner that people want to choose if there's an issue to bring folks together to talk about, so that we can collectively lift everybody in the boat. That's what we try to really do.
Yeah. Well, and again, my limited knowledge of it is that, and either one of you, can address this, because we'll go back and forth here. My wife taught in the Wallingford-Swarthmore school district for 34 years. And you have a plan in place, and she did it for 34 years of having a payroll deduction. Every 2 weeks come out of her paycheck and go to the United Way. And I believe she specifically picked a program that the United Way had that she wanted her money to go to. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Okay. So, is that specific programs, Rich, that you have that, you can pick from a menu, or can you decide as an individual, well, here's who I want it to be, but you guys may not have an affiliation with them? How exactly does that work? Or Doreen, whoever wants to, throw that one out there.
Well, what you're talking about is our donor designations. When you're filling out your pledge form, you have an opportunity to choose what organization, what nonprofit organization that you want to choose to. And we still have the capability. Or you can choose our impact fund. And the impact fund is the monies that we get from folks from around the region that we fund the programs that United Way has their kind of stamp of approval on.
Okay, so when we talk about the impact funds, you're involved as the impact manager, correct?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so what is the impact funds?
So the impact fund is the money that we raise in our local campaigns, and it goes to organizations that we provide general operating support grants to through a very competitive application process.
Organizations such as what?
So some local organizations in Delaware County would be Salvation Army, Community Action Agency, Pathways PA. Great one in education is Chester Education.
Gotcha, right. I'm aware of all those.
Chester Higher Education Council, And so that's where a majority of our funding goes to from the Impact Fund. And what's great about it, we'll always be there to do the donor designation. And so if you want to have United Way as a vehicle to select a nonprofit to invest in, we'll always be there to do that. Okay. But what's great about the Impact Fund is we're building up education, income, health, and basic needs for the entire community. So it's a way to invest your dollars to have a much broader reach and can do a lot more collectively.
Okay, so in essence then, that these various organizations that you have an affiliation with, or that you will, I guess I'm going to call you the middleman for whatever that, for lack of a better word, that the money funnels through United Way to these various organizations, that can either be a lot or little, depending upon how many from that paycheck, program are contributing to those various affiliations. Is that right?
Absolutely. There's a direct correlation of how much money we raise and how much money that we can give out to our agencies to help folks. Absolutely.
Okay.
But one of the things I did want to stress a little bit that Rich talked about is that we don't have a member agency. We have a competitive process that any 501c3 agency that meets certain criteria can apply for funding for us.
Oh.
And they get a 3-year grant. We no longer have agencies that are just affiliated United Way agencies. We fund an agency for a specific period of time, showing that they can show results on the work that we're giving them money to. It's all about showing results and showing outcomes.
My gosh, it's probably a never-ending review of the applications. There's so many nonprofit organizations.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And worthy ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I reviewed 100 applications in our process last year, along with volunteers that we brought in from the community to help guide us to where the needs should go. And out of that process, less than 20% were actually funded. And not just because they weren't great organizations, but it's also, do they align with what our goals are? Do they have the financials that are up to par? Are there audits free and clear? And most importantly, again, it's those outcomes. Are your programs achieving results? That's what is a core value of us, is stewardship of our donors' dollars.
So it's what we would call in my tourism industry as a return on the investment.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, you guys are Delaware County.
Yes.
Okay, and just let me remind you, folks, I'm speaking with Doreen Storey, who's the executive director of the Delaware County United Way, and Richard Crespo, who's the community impact manager for the Delaware County United Way. You're located in Aston?
We're looking at Aston.
Is that correct? And the website is unitedforimpact.org? Okay, so it's unitedforimpact.org, located in Aston. And a telephone number that you can call if you would care to find more information out. I see a couple of them here. Which one are we using?
We can use my number.
Okay, let's go your number, 484-482-1953, if you want to give them a call. Now, let me get back to this a second, because there are, in the greater Philadelphia and southern New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken, there are 11 counties. Something like that, okay? In Philadelphia, greater Philadelphia, we know that there are 5. Now, I don't know if you reach out to Berks County or Lehigh County or, any Lancaster County or anything like that, but do each of these regions, if you will, have their own United Way affiliation that's tied to the
Greater Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Well, what happened back in July of 2012, 7 United Ways in the region decided to join forces and form our organization, which is the United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey.
Oh.
And that was Atlantic County, Cape May, Cumberland County, Burlington, Camden, of course, Philadelphia, parts of Montgomery County, parts of Chester County, and all of Delaware County.
Okay.
Before that happened, we had 20% of the county. We were the old Southeast Delaware County. So now we are the United Way of Delaware County. We have the entire county.
Okay.
And in those areas, there are local operating boards or local advisory boards that help guide those organizations.
Okay, so when we talk that's the geographic area.
That's the footprint.
For the footprint. So, but you guys are specifically Delaware County.
That's correct. Yes.
You don't overlap into anything else, or it's just Delaware County?
Well, as an organization, we overlap because we cover our footprint, but Rich and I cover Delaware County.
Right, okay. And how many people are on the staff here in the Delaware County United Way?
You're looking at most of it.
Okay, so you're a two-man band.
We have 3 people that cover Delaware County for the impact side. We have someone that helps us raise money, of course, but then we have access and resources all throughout our organization where we're not just standing alone.
Right, that you can reach out to people for assistance or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Computer information, website design, all that sort of stuff and everything.
Right. We like to call ourselves now the branch of the Philadelphia office. We are the Delaware County branch of the Philadelphia office.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Doreen Storey, who's the executive director of Delaware County United Way, and Richard Crespo, who's the community impact manager for Delaware County United Way. Their website is impact.org, and you can give them a call at 484-482-1953. This has been very interesting. We are going to take a quick break now and be right back for the final 15 minutes of the program. You are listening to The Delco Show, brought to you by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, right here on iRadio Philly. I'm Torrey Fiore, and we will be right back. Welcome back to The Delco Show. You're listening to The Delco Show on iRadio Philly, brought to you by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. And before I forget, we have to thank our very recently, very new sponsor for lunch here at the Delco Show, Primo Hoagies, located on Baltimore Avenue, or Baltimore Pike, if you will, in Media, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, 610-565-7000, PrimoHoagies.com. They've got all sorts of hoagies. And Stephen E. Kessler II, what do we have today? Yes, a Nelly, a roast beef with sharp provolone, an Italian with sharp provolone, and then the meatball with sharp provolone. I do know this about the meatball sandwich. The meatballs are made with the beef, pork, and veal. They're not just a beef. And Rich is over here salivating, shaking his head. No, Rich, this is for us, okay? You don't get, no, you don't get any.
Don't the guests get any
not a
perks
thing.
as a result of doing this?
Here, have a mint.
Oh, thank you. That'll help.
So we want to thank our newest sponsor for lunch, Primo Hoagies. Please check them out. They do deliver. They have a wide area, wide geographical that they deliver to, and they'd be happy to do it. They handle, big party trays, all that sort of stuff, everything. So please check out Primo Hoagies, 132 Baltimore Avenue in Media. They're kind of diagonally almost across from the post office on Baltimore Pike in Media, folks. So Primo Hoagies, thank you very much for the 3 wonderful hoagies. We're going to cut them in half, and we're each going to have a half of 3. Except Rich is getting nothing.
I do get that mint. I call dibs on that mint.
Here, have a bottle of water.
I can't wait to come back to do this program, by the way.
Speaking of Richard Crespo, and Stephen E. Kessler, put him down. He's never coming back to do this show again. I just don't like him now. Doreen can come back anytime. Having fun now, Doreen?
Oh, absolutely.
There you go. The best fun you've had without booze, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Doreen Storey, who's the executive director of the Delaware County United Way, and Richard Crespo, who's the community impact manager for the Delaware County United Way. UnitedForImpact.org. They are located in Aston, right on Pennell Road, and you can give them a holler for more information at 484-482-1953. When we talk about, I'm going to go back to the payroll deduction thing again, okay? I was thinking about this, and, we were talking about, now the new guy, Jim Colley, coming in and taking over. And, you're looking at, I guess you're looking at, I read the article today in the Inquirer about how the dollars have gone down from payroll deductions and all that sort of stuff. I don't know the whys or the wherefores of that. But I'm driving to work this morning, and I'm thinking about this because I know the program was coming up, today, and I'm going, I wonder. Now, my wife did it for 34 years, okay? And then she retired. Now, she has a retirement package from, the state pension, teachers, whatever, PSEA, whatever it is. Whatever it is, I'm glad she's got a retirement, She gets a check every month, God bless her soul. But now she doesn't donate anymore. So I guess an interesting question would be, did anyone ever reach out to that vast majority of people that are retiring, that have a pension, that are collecting money, from their pension program, and say to them, would you like to continue donating whatever amount of money you donated or a different amount, and we can work out a system where we can do a direct withdrawal from your state pension or business, whatever the pension is, to the United Way, and you can continue to contribute and support the United Way.
That's one of the areas I think United Way honestly missed the boat on a little bit. We were very, very comfortable and used to having our workplace campaign. When someone came into their workplace, we ran a United Way campaign and gave them that pledge form.
I remember.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
And we seem to forget, or it seemed to just pass, that when those folks did retire, and as folks got older, more and more folks are retiring, and our workplaces look different now. We don't have these large places we can go in and do United Way campaigns. We have a lot of smaller companies that don't offer that right now.
Yeah.
So we are looking into going into the different companies, and it really varies from company to company that will allow us to do that. But to touch the old volunteers or the old donors that we used to have, to be able to reach out to them, we can get that information to let them know that we would love for them to continue not only giving to the United Way as a donor, but perhaps volunteering, kind of finding out what other activities they want to do. Our people that are retiring now aren't just sitting at home. They're doing other things, and we want to involve them in some of the civic engagement work that we're doing, and some of the volunteerism that we're doing. We want to connect all around with our folks. But yeah, we're looking into and doing that.
And I thought that was a brand new idea.
Yeah.
Damn you, Doreen.
Give us some time, and next year we can be totally different about it.
Yeah, well, because the baby boomer.
Yeah,
There's a big number of people that are retiring, and you look at that and you go, that's just money that you'll never see again.
And that's a lot of money out there that we need to go after and making sure that we can improve our community. Baby boomers, that generation has a lot of wealth.
Yeah.
And so we need to tap into that wealth so we can help other folks and so we can all get lifted.
Yeah, and it may not. It's not as much, but it's discretionary income.
Absolutely.
There's certain things they do with it, but you were talking about volunteering now. As the impact guy.
Yeah.
Do you get involved with the volunteering at all, or you want just on that dollar and cent side of it?
No, absolutely. That's actually one of my favorite parts.
What can you volunteer for, Richard?
So we have a few different events that are coming up. One of which is our Trash to Treasure event that takes place.
Sounds like a TV show my wife watches, where she's watching it in front of the fireplace and in the den. So I don't even go in there, and there's a beautiful fire going. I sit in my office at home with the smaller TV watching my shows because she's watching shows like Trash to Treasure.
I can promise you it's not a reality TV show. I can promise that.
It sounds interesting.
It does.
Trash to Treasure.
Yeah, so this is actually a really great program that Swarthmore College and United Way run in partnership. So all of the items that the students leave over at the end of the academic year get donated.
So this would be like end of May, beginning of June.
It's second week of June.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a gigantic yard sale. And so they have this old field house gym that they use, and the entire thing gets filled up, and it's thousands of items.
You're telling me that these kids simply just leave stuff?
They leave it
in their dorm rooms and everything?
They leave it because a lot of the kids aren't from the area, and so it might be a little difficult for them to actually haul that stuff back to where they go home. But yeah, a lot of people just end up leaving it, and so the students, instead of used to be what they do was just throw it away, and it would filled up 40-yard dumpsters.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, and so the students who are so civically minded and so connected to the community there, we really love everything that they do. They said, hey, let's stop throwing this stuff away. Let's do a yard sale to benefit the community and support the Impact Fund through United Way.
Well, I can guess a little bit. I can imagine a little bit that maybe mattresses are going to be tossed because you can't cart a mattress back to Jabip or East Overshoes or wherever they come from.
Yeah.
And maybe kitchen utensils. But what else what are they they throw books away. Okay, I got that. But what do they leave?
It's anything and everything that you can think of. We're talking about TVs, refrigerators.
You are kidding me.
No.
Video game entertainment systems, computers, lights. No
wonder these bastards are in debt. They just throw it away. They're crying, give us money, give us money. They throw their personal belongings away.
The clothes themselves that are
clothes.
left. It's just
You are kidding me.
High-end clothing, very, very nice clothing.
Yes.
And this is just one college.
This
just
is
one college. And it raised over $20,000 last year.
Number one, I think it's a great idea.
It is.
But number two, my word. Talk about, keeping your possessions and everything, But I guess for you guys, the more they leave, the merrier.
Oh,
isn't it?
absolutely.
And
yeah.
it works out really good for the community because a lot of people from the community come in and purchase these items that they need at really deep discounts. We're talking about like 10 and 20 cents on the dollar here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you can get those refrigerators that college students have.
So the small, little guys, yeah.
$25. So come out to Trash and Treasure.
You got my card.
Yeah.
You got to let me know when this thing happens because
We'll definitely do
my
that.
wife has not shopped in a normal store
Right.
for the 30 years we've been married. She goes to thrift stores and Goodwills.
Yeah.
Now, she was a home ec teacher, so she was a great seamstress.
Oh, okay.
Makes all her own clothes.
Right.
Can't cook worth a lick. I do all the cooking at home, but so I don't know how she got through 34 years in home ec, without being able to cook. But she'd have made a great mess sergeant in the Army, cooking for like 300 people. Dinner for 6, not happening.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I do that all at home. Anyway, but she can make stuff. She can take a dress or a coat and rip it apart and rebuild it from, basically. You don't like those buttons? She's got stacks of buttons in her sewing room that she just replaces the buttons.
Well, this will be an event that she would love.
Oh, this is a circus.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's held at the Swarthmore Fieldhouse.
Swarthmore College Fieldhouse.
And it
you
goes
can
on for 3
volunteer.
days. And it goes on for 3 days.
3 days?
It's
It's
3
a
days.
3-day sale.
Yes.
This is a hoot.
Yeah.
This is great.
And last year, getting back to the volunteer piece, we had over 40 volunteers come out and help us. Really, we just needed help sorting all of these thousands of items and getting them ready to be able to be sold.
Wait a minute. Do these volunteers get first dibs?
There is a chance for you to set some items aside that you
Very,
might.
very nicely said, Richard. I think my wife may want to volunteer, Richard.
There you go. We would love to have her.
We would love to have her. Yes.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild. Wow.
It's fantastic because number one, it's a great idea and way to reduce waste. I mean, think about it. We're not throwing away 40-yard dumpsters worth of stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, God. Oh my God. What a great idea.
And these students work so hard in putting this together. I mean, they're working 12-hour days consecutively for up to 4 weeks.
I got to give them a lot of credit. That's
absolutely.
And
We do. Yes.
Yeah,
We
talk
do.
about community service. If as a student you have to do that or something, what a better way.
It is, and we're so thankful for the partnership that we have
My
with them.
God, you
Absolutely.
ought to have every college in Delaware County do this.
Hey,
It's an idea. We've been
is.
talking about
Oh,
it and
my
thinking
word.
about it.
It is.
Absolutely.
Oh my word! I'm sorry we've been on this so long, but I see
They don't
some.
realize what students throw away and what somebody else can use.
Yeah. We've only got a couple more minutes left, but I see something here that it's called Living United. Mm-hmm. What is that?
Living United is something that we as staff and folks do. It's a credo that we do. It's our
It's a
work.
what?
It's a credo.
Okay.
It's the work that we do. It's making sure that other folks are able to have their mission to teach people. It's a constant reminder that when we reach out to to help someone, you also want to make sure that someone is educated, gets the things that they need. It's a part of what we do. Living United to me is more than just a place to work. It's kind of my vocation. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that I can not only teach somebody and help somebody, but I want to teach them so they can teach somebody else.
Yeah, I know. I hear you with that. And again, the business community. All right, as I said, we got less than a couple minutes left. How involved is the business community with you guys?
Very involved. Not only do they allow us to do our workplace campaigns locally here, but they ask us for volunteer opportunities. They call us for volunteer opportunities. Just recently with Boscov's in the Delaware County and the Granite Run Mall.
Right.
They did they helped us with our bags, our school bag look. Our Stuff the Bus collection, where they brought over a lot of things for us to give out to children that are in need.
That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Delco Show on iRadio Philly. We've just been speaking with Doreen Storey, Executive Director of the Delaware County United Way, and Richard Crespo, Community Impact Manager for the Delaware County United Way. I want to thank you both for being here. today. It's really been a real treat to learn more about the United Way. And ladies, and don't forget the Trash to Treasure. Check out the website.